All right, so we talked a lot about the teacher protest across the country, particularly in Kentucky. School districts have canceled school while teachers protest the pension system and the state budget as a whole. And it looks like the fight is far from over. NKU professor and political analyst Ryan Salzman is here to talk about what comes next. And so we've been talking about this sort of a political bait and switch here. Kentucky teachers initially opposed Senate Bill 1, and it was because of reduced benefits like cutting teachers' cost of living adjustments, moving them into a cash balance plan. Now we have Senate Bill 151 that is swiftly passed through the House. A lot of people not having an opportunity to really analyze it. It led to the protests that we're seeing today. So what are some of the key components that teachers have expressed that they don't want to see when it comes to pension reform?
Well, the larger question is about, what they call the inviolable contract, and that's what we associate with pensions, where they can't be touched, essentially. And so this is a defined benefit program. We pay in, but you get it out. Most people are familiar with a pension, but a lot of it is that, it's kind of separate and safe from state tampering. They can manipulate some of the pieces of it and what the teachers are required to do, but the general contract cannot change. So really any attempts to change that is always going to draw a lot of attention from the teachers. For this bill in particular, so you already referenced Senate Bill 1. Senate Bill 1 took some pretty major steps to change that, including significant changes for teachers that were currently retired, changing their cost of living adjustment. So of course that's pretty much a non-starter. Some pretty significant changes for teachers that were already employed, maybe less than 5 years, but nonetheless already had a few years in the system. And then significant changes for new teachers. The new bill, Senate Bill 151, really focuses most of that on new teachers. There are some changes for existing teachers, limiting the number of sick days that can be accrued after the end of this year and applied towards retirement is a good example of that. But outside of that, a lot of the changes are really about new teachers. They'll be moved into what they call a hybrid cash plan, where it's like a 401k style plan. The inviolable contract is gone. And so a lot of the concern now is about recruiting teachers. And regardless, any attempts to change any of this is going to bring teachers to the Capitol. And they've been there for months protesting. Everybody woke up on Thursday thinking that this is last Thursday, thinking that this was another day, that we just needed to be vigilant as teachers. Then 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so rolls around. This bill is being kind of swapped out, as they would call it. And this is a fairly regular occurrence this late in the session. But of course, if you're not familiar with it, it feels definitely like a bait and switch. So that switch out happens in about 9 hours. It goes from being public that it exists to passing both chambers, and that is why we saw this huge protest showing in the last couple days.
We've seen Attorney General Andy Beshear join the protest with the teachers. He has threatened to sue if the bill is signed by Governor Bevin. So do we expect Governor Bevin to sign the bill?
Yes, we definitely expect the governor to sign the bill. If anything, Governor Bevin is remiss that it doesn't go farther like Senate Bill 1 had initially discussed. And if we go back, because this discussion's been ongoing for well, it's been ongoing for a long time, but from about this time last year, there were talks of a special session. In the fall, there was talks of special session. So this has been going on for a long time. Senate Bill 1 captured a lot of that. So this is a scaled back version, but this goes back to that idea of the inviolable contract. So there are a number of things that the state cannot do. Attorney General Beshear says that those have been done, and he's going to sue.
All right, so we're going to talk more about this on our website, fox19now.com.